Zidane, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. As you can tell, we're talking Promised Neverland, but more specifically, we are talking about the Promised Neverland Volume 16. And why the frill is this considered green? Oh my gosh. This honestly, this series has honestly one of the greatest series to ever read. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself for not actually picking this up when it actually released here in America, as well as I'm also kind of annoyed at myself for when I had my uh 47 days of Viz that I didn't catch up with Promised Neverland. But the point is that Promised Neverland Volume 16 I have finally read, and I can finally give you guys my thoughts on this amazing volume. And it's it's hard. It is hard to talk about this series and what it's coming to an end. The first thing to note is that if you aren't fully aware, recently the series actually came to a close over in Japan. The series ended, and honestly, I am a bit terrified to know what the heck is actually going to be the conclusion and how this story concludes. This this volume tells an important piece of the puzzle. For those of you who didn't read Volume 15, which, why are you here if you didn't read it? But a quick reminder that at the end of Volume 15, Ray and Emma went to go speak with the quote unquote leader of the demons. Honestly, really saying what you should call him is always a challenge because his only name is in the demon's language, and we clearly the characters know how to say it, but we don't. And that causes a bit of an issue when you're trying to actually make videos on this thing. And honestly, I'm really intrigued to know what the heck they're actually going to be doing when we finally reach the conclusion, and specifically when the anime catches up with this point, because at this point demons are almost constantly speaking, well, not demons, but a few characters are very often speaking in the demon language, which we do not know how to pronounce anything in that. So honestly, I'm really intrigued to see what they're actually going to do with that. um, but let's actually start from the beginning of this. It picks up right after what we saw in Volume 15. Basically, on Emma and Ray's side, they're dealing with, well, the guy, which I wish that they gave us a way that we could pronounce it, but oh well. Uh, and we get to see a little bit about what's actually going on. Now, the first page may actually confuse you, and that's actually intentional because the fact that you're supposed to actually eventually see what the heck is going on about halfway through the volume. Um, but basically, Emma and Ray are going through this confusing location that happens to have a lot of the different chaos from all of the places that they've been to previously. And it's just a jumble of mess that honestly it's a bit hard to keep track of. I'm not going to lie. And that's going to be going on for quite a while. And it really does give you a sense of uneasiness. Like, this is a challenge for them, and they are the really the smartest people. Like, only really Norman is on the same level as them. So, yeah, it's really, really just chaos. But then we go back and forth from them to actually seeing Don and Gilda's side of things. Basically, Norman has sent Don and Gilda along with two other people, which I their names are pretty hard to remember, but since especially since they're relatively new to the story. But basically, they are being sent to go find uh, Mujika and Sanju, I believe is his name, and they do find him by the end of the volume. So look forward to seeing how that chaos is going to happen in volume 17. But they are going to be, they're basically going around trying to figure things out and find them, and they're honestly really terrified to know what's going to happen. Are they actually going to be going through with what's about to happen? I mean, they are terrified to know that this that Norman wants Mujika and Sanju dead because they're quote unquote the evil blooded, which honestly makes some sense. Sanju is wants to hunt, and Mujika is, well, Mujika. Um, but the two of them aren't necessarily evil, and even in the future, they're not going to be really evil, at least as far as I'm aware. It doesn't look like they're going to be evil. But we also get to meet a character who only speaks in the demon language, or as far as we're aware. And she's honestly one of my favorite characters that's a side character from the story. Honestly, I don't remember her name that well because, like I said, she's not really. They don't really mention her name that often, but yeah. She's honestly a really cool character, and I really think that you guys are really going to love meeting her. But basically, she goes around and with these dogs, and she is a hunter. She looks like she is going to kill Mujika and Sanju. Or Sanji, I don't remember how to pronounce his name. But the point is that she's not the villain. In truth, Norman really is a bit of a villain. And it's odd. We kind of knew that going, since we saw him again, that he wasn't necessarily a good guy anymore. But this kind of clarifies it. He doesn't think. He just wants all the demons to pay. And there's a bit of a similarity there between him and, well, what happened 1,000 years ago, back when the promise was first made. The people that were in that war all those years ago, except for the Ratari clan, they wanted to kill all the demons. Finally be free of them. To a certain extent, Ray is similar, but he cares about Emma. He doesn't necessarily want them all to die. He knows that there are some good ones. And he wants to live his life like that. He wants to live his life, and Norman, well, he's a challenge. He thinks all demons, period, are evil in this world. And to a certain extent, he's right. They want to eat humans, but does that necessarily make them evil? That's honestly a bit of the point here. when I first start, this actually makes me realize something important. Our At first, I thought that this whole series was going to be kind of a bit of a thing against saying that against Wagyu beef, because honestly, there's a lot of similarities between the Wagyu system and um, the kids from Gracefield House over in Japan, especially in Japan. They basically make these cows the best possible thing that they can be, only to kill them pretty young. And then you can actually see that that's not necessarily the case. It's basically saying that people are animals. Both sides are animals. And we can make a decision that can actually make peace with creatures that are more powerful than us. We should be able to, but sometimes we simply won't be able to. Emma is like the Rattari clan, which is honestly an awful thing to say, because they're the reason that all of these children are in danger. But in truth, they wanted to make sure that as few as possible people died. And for Emma, it's a similar case. She wants her family and all of the children to be free to live a good life, a life free from the demons. And she wants the demons to, well, also be free and not be forced to eat other intelligent life. It's sad. But there is a moment when she finally meets him. Ray can't come in for whatever reason, but she can. And when she does, she finds out the truth. And she's finally asks for everyone to go free, to which he surprisingly says, "I shall grant that wish. But there's a price. He wants a reward for that. And unfortunately, we don't know what it is." This is how that bit ends. Him saying, "And the reward I want is your..." And we don't see it. We simply get Emma's reaction. And we conclude the rest of the story with Mujika and Sanju. Time for the actual hunt to begin. This story is amazing, and I love it. And it makes me sad that soon we'll have to say goodbye to this honestly amazing series that isn't necessarily horror, but it does put a fear in you. But it is honestly one of my favorite series ever created. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. Leave your thoughts and theories down in the comments below, and if you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in somewhere in your comment. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Just a quick reminder that you can also support us by heading down to the description and checking out all of our links down there, including our Patreon, which a big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. Badon.